The following program contains language and situations of an adult nature. Some material may not be appropriate for young viewers.
1, 2, 3, funky.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Scott Richards Podcast. I am your host, the Scott Richards, and yes, you are hearing this correctly. It is the return of the Scott Richards Podcast. Now, before we get into Scott Richards Podcast, I just want to thank everybody for all the love and support of CSW recently in the last few weeks. All the likes, comments, subscribing, everything. It's been great. If you are new to this channel, please super hit the subscribe button. Now, in today's episode of the Scott Richards Podcast, like I said, it's been a few years since I've done this. I believe it's episode 4 now. Today we're going to talk about the WWE Royal Rumble pay-per-view predictions for this year and other wrestling topics and whatever we go on. We got like an hour, I believe, here. So I have 3 guests today. I'm going to introduce them one by one. So at first, sitting to my right, we got my boy Ethan.
What's poppin',
That was
Jimbo?
You suck.
Yo, it's my first time, okay? Give me a break.
And then we also have my very good friend Aaron.
That's good.
And then we have the Big Papa, who made an appearance on the last episode of CSW, Brian Outlaw.
What's up?
All right, so first things first, I want to get into the Royal Rumble because we know Royal Rumble is a week from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It will be January 28th. So all the matches that are confirmed are, of course, the 30-man Royal Rumble, the 30 Women's Rumble, Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's title, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the WWE and Universal title, and Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in the Lights Out match. Relax. I know you're excited. So first things first, we're going to talk about Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. We all know that the feud started a few weeks ago when Alexa Bliss turned heel because she's starting to get possessed by Bray Wyatt ever since Bray Wyatt came back. And now she's challenged Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. And I know recently, on an episode of Raw, they recreated a scene from Scary Movie 3, I believe. In one of her matches, it was the first one they first fought each other on Raw a few weeks ago, and they recreated a scene from Scary Movie 3 or 4, which one it was, and I thought it was cool. So we're going to go around and ask everybody who's think is going to win for each match, and then so on, everyone's opinion. So, Brian, I'm going to go with you first. Who's winning? Bianca going to retain, or Alexa Bliss going to walk as the new champ?
I think with Alexa turning heel, that her being heel champion would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
As far as who I think is going to, it's hard to say, but I'm going to have to go with Alexa on this one.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's just because why would they make her turn heel and have this like big build up to not have her, be champion at some point? And obviously Bianca's had a great run, so this could be really good for Alexa because she's kind of had this rebirth, I guess, especially with Bray Wyatt coming back, and who knows what we're gonna see from that. So,
all right, Aaron.
I think you said it beautifully. I'm also biased because I think Alexa Bliss is really fucking hot.
Hey.
Yeah!
But it's just such a big build-up, and if she doesn't win, I don't think there's a point at all if she doesn't win. So.
Right. Big.
My thing is that
Here we go.
Bianca Belair is my wife, okay? She's my wife, okay? I don't let anyone tell me otherwise, but...
Montez Ford would have an issue with that, but
Hey,
okay.
listen, Montez Ford ain't here right now, though. So, I'm just kidding. I love you, brother. So,
Such a simp. Oh my god.
so with the coming up Royal Rumble coming up,
There you go.
I mean, with Alexa turning heel, you gotta understand that coming down to it doesn't just come down to the wives. It comes down to wrestling at the end of the day. So,
yeah, it's my favorite versus your favorite.
it's literally wife versus wife. That's literally what it is.
Well, you already know who I'm gonna pick.
Well, exactly.
Alexa, because one, her turn heel, and then her possibly reuniting with Bray Wyatt.
Well, that's the thing too. So maybe, just maybe, that could lead
God,
to
if
a
you're
build-up
listening
of
right
it.
now,
But
please.
I mean, I don't
please.
know. As much as I want Bianca to win, I really don't see any logical way of her winning To be honest, if she wins, it'll surprise me to the max.
Well, she
but-
won when they first fought for the title on Raw. She won by DQ because Alexa freaking snapped on her because the Bray Wyatt effect on the screen.
That's right. That is true. That is true. But she's not possessed anymore.
No, no.
She is still.
Yeah, that's how she recently turned heel because Bray Wyatt's back.
Oh, okay.
Since-
Well, maybe she's gonna get in. Well, maybe then.
I think Bray's gonna get involved.
Maybe.
Or-
And then maybe Bianca's gonna get it.
Maybe we see the identity of Uncle Howdy.
It's Bo
Like-
Dallas. I'm telling you.
I think it's Bo Dallas, but I'm just going out on a limb here. Like, even if we do know that it's Bo Dallas, I mean, pretty much it's obvious at this point.
Mhm.
But, like, what if Uncle Howdy comes out and has something to do with it? Alexa ends up ultimately winning. Bray then does whatever he does.
Which
and
we'll
then,
get in that in a second.
and then you see Uncle Howdy. You see him unmask or something like that. And then it's Bo Dallas. Holy shit, everyone.
Do you guys know who Bo Dallas is?
I've heard of him. I don't know.
It's Bray Wyatt's real life brother
Oh. Okay.
who
Oh.
got fired. When did he get released? Like
A long time ago. I know that.
I think he got released like in 2020 when everyone was getting fired.
Mm.
Oh shit.
2020's been so long now. It's weird.
3 years.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
yeah. I think Alexa Bliss is gonna walk out as champion and be fully heel, and then something's gonna happen between her and Bray. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, now we're gonna talk about Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. He's a new up and coming heel who was in NXT for a while. He also made a name for himself as Eli Drake in NWA, Impact. Now he's on the main roster in SmackDown. He's about to have his first big match on the main roster against the returning Bray Wyatt, which I believe this is Bray Wyatt's first match back on television. I know he had a live event at Madison Square Garden.
Yes, it would be, I think, his first match.
And
back.
this is the first time they're doing a Mountain Dew Pitch Black Lights Out match. It's sponsored by the new Mountain Dew Pitch Black drink.
Well, it's
Does
not.
that taste good? Did anyone try that? I want to try it.
No,
It's
I've
actually-
never had it yet.
It's actually pretty good.
I wanna
I've
try
tried
it
it. It's
too.
not
Low-key.
new.
Oh.
It's actually something that Mountain Dew has had out for a while. But
Oh, they're bringing it back.
yeah,
I never
Hmm.
heard of it before until
it's
now.
actually pretty. It's actually pretty
Is it
good.
actually black?
I like the. It's
I mean,
almost like
they don't
a.
call it black.
Think of it like a. Almost like a black raspberry, almost.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Like that's the closest I can in
Right.
terms of flavor.
Now, as for the match, I don't know what to expect. Has never happened before. But if anyone recently watched SmackDown, Bray Wyatt brought back the Firefly Funhouse with all the puppets, which means there could be a
You did it.
That's
And sponsored by Peter Griffin. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm kidding.
Got it.
Ah, that was my phone. Rip. Yeah, who cares, Sky? You suck. Anyways, since he brought back the Firefly Funhouse, this could be a possible way that the Fiend could be making his return. And the last time we saw the Fiend was at WrestleMania in 2021 when he lost to Randy Orton and got turned by Alexa, which I find very interesting as well. I hope to God he brings back the Fiend. I know some people don't think it's too late for him to bring it back, but that's like my favorite version of Bray. So I think Bray Wyatt's gonna win, of course. He's gonna bring back the Fiend, and I don't know what specifically, but I think either Alexa or Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, or maybe both will get involved. But eventually, down the road, I would like to see a faction with Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, and maybe Braun Strowman.
that would be
that would
interesting.
be
That
awesome.
would be a match.
I feel like
Yes.
that'd be the group that takes down the Bloodline. Brian?
I think that would be fantastic. Just because, not just because, I'm always the type of guy, obviously, with, my wrestling content, always thinking of cool stuff.
Shout out to RCW.
But I always think of, like, what would be cool. And especially with Triple H having the mind that he does. And we're seeing very creative, definitely a different sort of booking style compared to when Vince was at the helm. So, it's kind of cool. It's honestly, all the possibilities are endless with Triple H. You never know. So he's brought back a lot of people. He's had a lot of surprises, and obviously with 2K23 coming out,
Here we
we're gonna
go.
have that roster back. So
Wait, are you excited for 2K23?
I'm sorry, but yes, I'm sorry.
What was I gonna say now? Yeah, I think Bray Wyatt's return last year was probably my favorite return besides Cody Rhodes. But yeah, so you're thinking Bray Wyatt's gonna win?
Oh yeah.
I already
yeah.
know what you two are about to say, Aaron.
I think you're gonna be surprised by my response. So you said the other guy. I haven't heard of him before.
LA
I'm sorry.
Knight.
He said he's new to this thing.
Well, he's been around, but he's new to WWE.
Right,
He was in NXT for a while, and now he's on the main roster.
I don't know. I feel like it would make sense for either of them to win. I don't really have any predictions because he's new, so they might give him like the upper hand and be like, oh,
All right.
but I feel like I don't know. I think they might bring back the Fiend. That's just my opinion though, because like I feel like he's a fan favorite, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean
When
that's,
he came back, that crowd reaction. Where were they for
Fastlane.
Extreme Rules?
Fastlane.
No, you're thinking of when during COVID when he came back as the Burnt Fiend.
Right.
We're talking about recently, a few months back when they brought back Bray Wyatt to WWE Extreme Rules.
Oh yeah.
That I remember. I know.
Yeah, with all the with the
exactly
new
what
music
happened.
and everything.
Which
the
his
door.
new song is on my playlist. That song is just, I gotta show you guys later this new song.
Fire.
It's fire. Ethan, who's winning?
I'm gonna have to say Bray Wyatt. Well, I'm gonna go off what Aaron said. I really don't know, to be honest, because they could possibly push the new guy, but also you got big badass Bray Wyatt
Big Papa.
as the
Big fucking
Fiend
Papa.
before, who literally rose up from the ring. So they're gonna bring him back. They have to bring him back.
Absolutely.
There's no way. And now the Triple H is in charge. They're come on. It'd be stupid not to bring him back.
Yeah.
He's a fan favorite. He made Fastlane. He made everything at Extreme Rules and WrestleMania. Everything.
I love how you still mention the one pay-per-view no one talks about, where Alexa brought the Fiend back from the dead and you completely lost your mind. Because that's when you just got in the wrestling and you thought Bray Wyatt was the greatest thing you ever watched.
Because it was
Because
horror.
he is.
Well, I think
That's debatable.
Yes.
even Triple H had said that he's one of the most creative people backstage,
question.
and even Alexa had mentioned that she loved working with him when, in an interview, and how creative he is, and just how creative like Alexa got with the demonic sort of character, and the fact that she was able to keep that prolonged for so long, even without Bray Wyatt being around, and then they're able to like sort of make this comeback, like, because Alexa has made us not forget that the Fiend is still around, and now Bray Wyatt's back, so you can kind of piggyback off of whatever you were doing before. So
And now that Triple H is in charge, maybe they can fix Alexa's character. Because I know a lot of people did exactly. I personally didn't mind how Vince booked Alexa with Bray, but
I
maybe
didn't
Triple
mind
H
it.
has a different vision of it.
I didn't mind it, but I think with Triple H, he just has this creative vision where he allows the wrestlers a little bit more freedom, and he kind of allows the wrestler to get out of their shell and try things that normally probably they wouldn't have thought about doing under Vince, because Vince likes to have that control. He likes to have things be a certain way. So
We're just giving Triple H all the love at this point. Hire me.
so
Bro, he's daddy.
We'll talk about Triple H and Vince and all of that after the prediction, because that is something I want to talk about too.
Yes.
Speaking, so now we're gonna talk about a match I know that you're excited for. Roman Reigns will be defending the WWE and Universal Championship against Kevin Owens, and this is actually interesting fact. This is the third time they're gonna face each other at a Royal Rumble pay-per-view for a title.
yep.
The first time was 2017. Owens was the champion. He was the bad guy. And Roman was the Mr. Good Guy Vest Man. Then in 2021 was at the Rumble. The roles were reversed. Roman was the tribal chief, Universal Champion, fought Owens, and now they're going at it again for the third time. And the storyline between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Usos, the Bloodline, it's literally my favorite thing on SmackDown right now. So with that being said, I love Kevin to death. There's no way he's beating Roman Reigns. Absolutely no
Nope.
way.
No.
Nope.
Nada. No
Nope.
way.
I love Kev. Maybe I think because I know tomorrow night on Raw they're announcing like a tribal court with Sami Zayn that he might possibly get kicked out of the Bloodline. By
I'm thinking what you do is have Roman get screwed by Sammy in some way, but he still wins. Roman still wins, and then because we saw that scene where Roman was like, "You think you can be me? You think you can be, the tribal chief?"
he got
So
mad
there's
at him so hard.
there's the tension already. Then you set up Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as best friends go up against the Usos for those titles at Mania.
That
You know,
would
then
be
you
wild.
set that up long-term booking, and they already have all the pieces there. It's just a matter
Aren't
of
the
is it
Usos-
going to happen or not.
Aren't the Usos facing the Judgment Day tomorrow for the Raw Tag Titles?
I think so.
Hmm.
And Bailey's facing Becky Lynch inside of a steel cage tomorrow.
Oh boy.
Don't you like Bailey?
And Becky Lynch.
So we're all,
Respectfully,
don't. No, go
I
ahead.
love Bailey.
Everyone.
Okay.
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody
By the
loves
way, I forgive you for yelling at me at a show. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah,
it's
like
okay.
she's gonna listen to my podcast.
Hey, never know one day.
It's the black yes.
Right.
So we're all saying Roman's winning.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
there's no prediction there.
No fucking.
It's a
Man's hit him with a
spoiler.
golf cart.
He doesn't.
Yo, the golf cart.
Man's hit him with a golf cart back
I
in
forgot about that.
2020.
Well,
Back
that
in,
was
like,
at TLC,
2019.
wasn't it?
No, that
No,
was at the
Royal
Rumble
Rumble.
backstage.
Yep.
Owens ran Roman asses over with a golf cart, and I think, real life, I think Owens and Reigns have beef
Yeah. I'm not
because
sure.
at Survivor Series, Kevin slapped Roman for real that he popped his eardrum, and then the last SmackDown of the year in 2022, when they had John Cena come back and team with Owens against Sami and Roman, I guess Roman stiffed him for real and busted Owens' eye. That was a receipt.
Holy shit.
So I think they got some beef.
Maybe. I don't know.
Which I kind of like it when they have real beef when they're in a storyline because it makes it more intense.
I know that Charlotte and Becky did when they did their thing,
That
A while back.
was awesome.
which was pretty
Carol Reed
awesome.
says Charlotte's amazing. Speaking of Charlotte, this is not confirmed as of right now, but I think they're gonna do Charlotte versus Sonya Deville at the Royal Rumble for the SmackDown Women's title. Maybe I'm wrong, but the way I saw what happened on SmackDown, where Sonya wants a title shot and then she sucker punched Charlotte and ran off, I think they're gonna set it up for the Rumble. But maybe, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
So where the hell is Ronda Rousey? Is she just gone? Like,
Who cares about?
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm gonna drop the F bomb. But fuck Ronda. I'm sorry. I can't stand Ronda Rousey. At all.
Oof, brother, can
Well-
I get a fat oofing cat?
well,
You
like
suck.
I just think personally that it seemed like with Ronda and Shayna they were building up this whole thing with Ronda possibly going up against Shayna, or at least that's what it looked like. And then Charlotte comes in and is like, "Nah, bitch, the queen's back." And
Hey, I'll hail the queen. I love
High
Charlotte.
five.
I like
Honestly-
Charlotte.
Honestly, I'm glad Charlotte is the champion because it's believable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's the person that has held the women's division. Regardless of how you feel about her character, she always puts on killer matches. So
I don't think they should have ever had Ronda beat Liv Morgan.
no,
I think Liv Morgan was great as champion. Some people didn't like her as champion, but I thought she was great. Her matches were actually pretty good.
the one thing is that she was more over than Ronda could ever get herself.
When she cashed out on Ronda, the crowd erupted.
So yeah.
Speaking of women, the 30 women Royal Rumble match. I really hope Rhea Ripley wins the Rumble because 2022 was her year,
Yeah.
in my opinion. The Judgment Day, her team with Liv. I was there when she turned heel on Liv Morgan. I was in the front row when they were in Buffalo,
yeah.
and now her being mommy, which, respectfully, Rhea Ripley is a very good woman. Let's just say that. Murphy is a
An
very
attractive lady. okay?
attractive
There you
lady. Murphy is a lucky man. But no, seriously, with all seriousness, Rhea Ripley's very talented, and she's like different from everybody. She reminds me of Paige a little bit, but like obviously there's two differences.
Cora Jade has that
Cora
Paige
Jade is.
vibe for me.
It'd be cool
as
to
far
see
as
Cora
I'm
Jade
concerned.
be in the Rumble
Yeah,
because I know sometimes
Uh,
they bring NXT talent out for the Rumble.
I think Braun Breaker is going to be in it.
Braun Breaker in the
I-
women's Rumble.
Or in the men's.
I was gonna
For the
say
men's.
like I'm pretty.
That don't sound right.
for the men's Rumble, I think he's.
I was gonna say I know it's 2023, but I'm kidding.
I wouldn't like Murph's YT13, one of the YouTubers that I watch. He did a video about like how WWE should book the Rumble, and he talked about like he was doing it through the game and talking about it, and he was thinking, what if, because of the storyline with Rey Mysterio, what if Rhea Ripley enters the men's Royal Rumble for a little bit and he eliminates like Rey and does all this, and then you have Austin Theory and Seth Rollins in their little thing. Rollins gets in, eliminates Theory and all that, and there was a lot of cool theories that he had, but that was one of the cool things that I just wanted to throw out there.
So who do you think's gonna win the women's Rumble? There's a lot. There's like 30 women. Anybody can win. Obviously, besides the two champs, Charlotte and Bianca.
This is hard because I already know who I kind of want to win the men's Royal Rumble, or should or would be a good to win the men's Royal Rumble.
Which we'll get into that. That's a whole other thing.
I honestly think since Rhea was robbed, I would like to see her.
And if Rhea wins, should she challenge the Raw Women's Champion or go to SmackDown and challenge Charlotte? I think she should challenge Charlotte because you guys don't remember in 2020, she got robbed and lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania back in 2020, and now she can get her revenge.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an awesome storyline because Charlotte's a babyface, Rhea's a heel, but the fans love Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You got a good face and heel dynamic there
Right.
between those two.
You can see a good story, right? Like waiting to form. It's just after going through with the idea and performing it the right way.
Bragg. Who's winning the Women's Rumble? So you got a lot of options.
It's a very, very, very difficult thing. I mean, honestly, it'd be nice for Rhea Ripley to win. It would, because, that'd give her another boosted opportunity and all that.
Is there anybody else besides Rhea you think should win?
I think since Liv Morgan really got robbed because of Ronda Rousey,
I didn't think
one
about
time,
that.
then I think she really needs to get a redemption round in the Rumble.
I was thinking if it was not Rhea, it might be Bayley.
Now, right.
Yes.
It could, maybe.
Because
Yes,
she came back,
please.
she brought the faction with Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, and she kept losing to Bianca, and now Becky is like, I want to say like bullying her because Becky's like the baby face, but
Why
she's
you
like,
bully me?
like she's reminding her like you did all this for nothing. And now you got nothing,
Right.
and maybe Bayley needs that push, and she. Wins
I
the
would
Rumble.
love that. I would die.
So if Rhea doesn't win, I think Bayley might pull it off, and then.
But not without help.
Oh, of course.
She's going to have Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. They're going to be a dominant. See, what I would have done is, who's the tag champs right now?
Dakota and Io Shirai.
Okay. Yeah, that would be perfect, because then you have Bayley win the Raw title, and there you go.
Yeah, they should have done that, but...
Like,
Aaron? Well, we already... Guys, I wonder who Aaron's gonna pick. Who?
I am extremely biased. Rhea. Rhea Ripley.
Why Rhea, Aaron?
She's hot.
She's hot.
she's hot. No other
And
reason
she comes
at all.
out the
She's
motionless and white, and
Yeah.
that
So
she's...
she has to. She absolutely has to, or else I will fucking sue someone. I will.
You
But
heard it here first. Oh, because...
Heard it here, folks.
Watch out, Trips.
Oh my Lord. Okay, now the men's rumble. I have an opinion that not most people are gonna think about it, but I'm gonna let you guys go first. But before we get into that, they announced that Cody Rhodes is coming back to the Rumble, but it's rumored that The Rock is supposed to show up and win the whole thing.
No. Please.
What's wrong with The Rock? If you're somewhere.
Okay. The reason why I say I don't want The Rock to win it is because it's the fucking Rock,
Right.
and he doesn't.
But
and
the
he,
reaction, though.
he doesn't need the
doesn't-
Royal Rumble to
right.
win.
No.
Like, you're gonna sell tickets
It's
anyways.
Black Adam. Come on.
You're gonna sell tickets anyways because it's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. You're
Finally.
you don't need. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if Cody won it. But
You hate Cody.
yeah, of course I hate Cody. I hate
Out.
your guts, Cody Rhodes. I don't like you. Sorry.
He don't like
What
you.
did he do?
Never liked you. I'm sorry.
But I don't like you for saying that.
But you'll never be as good as your father. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
Damn.
Hey,
But-
his dad's dead, you jerk.
So mine is too.
Mine
Good
is
point.
real.
But anyways, I think I think
Podcast got dark real fast.
I think Seth Rollins could because Roman is the double champ right now, so I think Rollins could easily win it, but for the WWE title. That way you keep Roman's Universal reign of not being pinned for the Universal title if you so desperately have to. I wouldn't even be mad if Cody won it, but I don't think Cody's going to win it because I don't think they're going to do it right away. I don't think, because to me, he hasn't really done anything to really.
He's Cody Rhodes.
So what?
Hey.
So what? To me, he hasn't done anything to, like, really deserve that Royal Rumble shot. What? Is he going to just be like, oh, I'm going to win the title that my father never won? Big deal. Like,
Right.
come on. Like,
You really don't like Cody.
I do not. I think he's a sellout.
So wait, hold on. Your final answer? Who's winning?
Rollins. Seth Rollins.
All right, 30 men in this Rumble, Aaron. Anybody
31.
can, huh?
30?
Yes,
30.
yes, 30 man. Same thing with the women's. There's 30 women's and there's also 30 men in this Rumble. There's 2 different Rumble matches, of course.
I honestly have no idea.
We'll give you a minute, Bag.
I have something here, and I shared it with you. Shared it with you, sir.
Oh,
So, I have a theory about this Royal Rumble. So you mentioned that The Rock is coming back. So, for the longest time, there has been a prediction going on about who is going to take the Universal Champion from Roman Reigns. So, thinking about it, The Rock's gonna come back, and predictively, he's gonna win the entire Royal Rumble. If he does, he still has it. He still got it. He don't need Hollywood. He don't need that. He don't need he's still got it. But if he loses in some really weird or dumb way or anything like that, feelings are Roman's gonna see him as big all and top mighty, and he's like, no, I'm the tribal chief. You're gonna come to my house and put it there. Come here. So I think
Come
they're gonna challenge him.
You're gonna put it there. Wait, what? Roman, pause.
I think they're gonna fight it out and have their quarrel in the match.
So wait, you're thinking The Rock's gonna win?
predicting if he doesn't win the Royal Rumble.
No. So as for the Rumble, do you think Rock's gonna win the Rumble and go to Mania?
Yes.
Okay.
But if he doesn't, he might challenge.
Either way,
Roman's
he's
gonna
still
call him
challenged. I don't know. If Rock shows up, he's winning instantly. You can't just bring back the Rock and not have him win. But I actually do agree with what Brian said. Why? Because my thing is, why would you announce Cody Rhodes coming back? That's dumb.
Right.
That ruins the whole surprise of him coming back and winning the Rumble. So if you
And-
announce it, he's obviously. I don't think he's gonna.
Or
win.
if they have a plan for him later down the
They're,
road.
I think they're doing a swerve. Because you guys
They're
saw.
gonna make us think he's gonna win, and he's
Yeah,
not.
it's gonna be. I really think it's gonna be Seth, because last year's Rumble, when Seth fought Roman Reigns,
Think about it.
he
You
got
have
his
this.
ass whooped.
You
Oh, yeah.
you have this story already. Seth lost to Cody twice.
Not
Actually,
once,
no,
but
3
once.
times actually.
Three?
Mania, WrestleMania Backlash, and
Oh,
Hell in
yeah,
a Cell.
three.
Oh, so not
Three
once, not
times.
And that
twice,
Hell in a
but
Cell
three
match
times.
was
3 times.
amazing.
So Seth is gonna want a piece of the American Nightmare, and so he's gonna, probably. I guarantee it's gonna come down between him and Cody, being part of the final 3 or the final 2, whatever it is, and then Seth Rollins is gonna eliminate Cody, and then then you got that. But I also think that Seth Rollins or Cody rather. He's going to come out at number 10. And the reason why is because that was the number that his father came out. His father, Dusty Rhodes, came out.
Keep talking.
You don't get copyright?
Yep.
You'll get copyright.
But I think Cody Rhodes is going to come out at number 10. Just because Dusty Rhodes, his father, that was the number that he came out
Right.
as.
Now, he never won
Now, he never
Royal
won a
Rumble.
WWE championship when he was in WWE.
Wow.
Okay, as for my opinion on who's gonna win the 30-man shit
Mm-hmm.
with thing,
30-man shit.
yeah, I don't really care for the men's wrestling. I like the ladies.
Zach
I like
says-
watching
I'm
the
kidding.
ladies.
So, but if you had to pick somebody, like, I'll throw on names. Balor's gonna be in there. Cody, Seth, Lashley.
Excuse me.
I mean, the theory with The Rock coming back, if he's coming back, he has to win. Because, like, there's no fucking way.
It is The Rock.
Now again though, you're teasing Cody Rhodes, you're teasing The Rock. Now what if these guys get into a spigot then? If
Yo,
one
Cody and
takes
Rock.
the other one?
Oh, that'd be hot.
They're rumoring so many people to come back. What if these all people get into like some kind of a faction, like the bloodline? But
Faction?
they're like they're going against each other. Like they're in some kind
You
of.
get your words mixed up, buddy.
You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Ignore him.
Temporary alliances.
Yes.
So I think Seth is winning the Rumble, and everyone's gonna be shocked. And at Mania, I think since WrestleMania is a 2-night event, night 1 he's gonna face Seth Rollins for the WWE title. Rollins is gonna beat Roman. Night 2, it's Rock and Roman Reigns because he's the Rock. He doesn't need to win the Rumble. He's the Rock. All he gotta do is make an appearance. Like, you know what? I want your ass at Mania. And Roman's like, you're on, big
Right.
Phil.
Plus, you already got the storyline being them being blood, and you know the whole tribal chief thing. And he's like, "No, I'm the head of the table. Like I'm the tribal chief."
I saw this thing that some people think Sami Zayn should win the Rumble. Which, Sami Zayn at Roman, I don't think that's a match for wrestle. I love Sami Zayn. He's oozy, he's great. And I know eventually he's gonna get turned on by Roman Reigns. And I think I really think it's gonna happen tomorrow night.
Giggity.
Anyways, children. I don't think this is a match to have it at Mania. Maybe some people might disagree with me, but I don't think Sammy is gonna beat Roman Reigns at all, or we even win the Rumble.
No, I don't.
I love Sammy, but I'd rather see him and Owens team up and face the Usos because that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Well, that and you also have the history with Rollins. If Rollins does win,
Right. That's
you have
right.
the history with Rollins with the Shield,
Yeah.
and you have
And what happened last year at
Yeah.
the Rumble?
and you got a story here. I mean, either way, I mean, the reason why I said The Rock is because I felt like if you have The Rock win, then it feels like, well, great, this legend just came in here and now he wins. So, you know, I don't know. Either way, like, if The Rock does come back, I wouldn't be mad. Just not saying that I don't think, like, a big spot like that should be reserved for a legend when they should come back. You know, The Rock should just come back and be, you know, The Rock, you know?
Right.
And I don't think he needs the Royal Rumble to
Right. So
make
in
that
all
immense.
seriousness, would you guys knock it off? You guys are both children, my lord. They're causing chaos in the background. They're dying laughing. Want to snort it out even more? There she goes again.
You didn't see it. You didn't see that at all.
What did you do?
Nothing.
No, what did you?
Nothing.
I'll ask you later. So Aaron says Rock. Ethan, you're going with
I'm
Rock.
going with The Rock.
And Brian, looks like you two got Rock and Brian got Rollins.
Yeah.
So I think that's all the matches, right?
As far as I know, the confirmed ones, yeah.
Because I know tomorrow night on Raw we got Becky versus Bayley Steel Cage,
That's
Bobby
gonna be a
Lashley versus
dope
Theory
match.
for the U.S. title, and then the Tribal Court for Sami Zayn.
Can we talk about the Hurt Business for a minute?
Go ahead.
Like, I'm just throwing this out there.
Here we go.
But Bobby Lashley, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Street Profits, MVP,
Way too many damn people in that group.
and
Hold on.
MVP, Hurt Business. Like, yo, that would go absolute.
Why are there so many? What is this, the Nexus? There's too many damn people.
That would be awesome though. Think
But
about it.
you already got the blood. We don't. That's my problem. There's two. They don't need. They're not like AEW. They don't need too many factions. Maybe they can do it like Bobby, Cedric, Shelton, MVP, Omos. That's it. You don't need Bobby, Shelton, Cedric, Omos, MVP, the Street Profits, Apollo Crews.
Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Yeah,
Right.
like, don't get me wrong. I would love to see heel Street Profits, but I don't think they need to be in the Hurt Business. It would be interesting,
It would be dope though.
or maybe this would be interesting. Hurt Business failed twice, so Bobby wants to do it again, but make it better. So instead of Cedric and Shelton, he replaces them with the Street Profits, and that's how you set up a feud. Cedric and Benjamin versus Street Profits of the Hurt Business.
There you go.
Boom. But you never know.
I just wanted to throw that out there because
Now-
that's something that
yeah.
people were
Now
talking about.
there's something I want to get into. Vince McMahon.
Oh,
Oh Lord, we have a lot to talk about. So for some of you that don't know, if you're living under a rock or don't really pay attention to when it comes to wrestling on media, Aaron, Vince is going through a lot. Last year he retired. He got accused of we can't say it here,
No.
Sir-
Relations with an intern.
yes, that, and anything you think of that is yes.
You can connect the dots.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And also, he's back in WWE. His daughter left the company. He fired his son last year. Triple H is still in creative, which is the only good outcome right now.
And he's also on the board of directors again.
And he's trying to sell the company, and he almost sold it to Saudi Arabia.
Bruh.
Which, thank the Lord that did not happen. Because if it did, say goodbye to women's wrestling.
Yeah.
And no offense, their shows in Saudi are terrible. I can't think of one good show they had in Saudi.
Yeah, it's kind of just a show where they just stack a bunch of legends because of money and shit. And
Undertaker versus Goldberg, nothing will go wrong. DX versus Brother Destruction, nothing will go wrong. Goldberg versus The Fiend, nothing will go wrong.
yeah, but
There's many bad matches.
Yep.
I think definitely when I've been saying this for years, when Triple H would take over, it would be better.
He's doing really good right now. Like, there's
and
a
that's-
few hit or misses.
There's a few hit or misses, but I'll take those over inconsistent booking and just blatant stupid decisions. Like,
think
it's
about
okay.
how Raw and SmackDown was 2 years ago.
Yeah, Raw was unwatchable.
SmackDown
Unwatchable.
SmackDown had their hit or misses. Now, every week they're killing it with all the main event matches, the tournaments, something new. They're bringing in more people in. Some people are like, "Oh, he's bringing back too many people." I'm like, no, you want a full roster.
Right.
That way, you have so many different outcomes and so many new storylines, so you don't have to say the same people over and over and over. I also kind of like what he's doing in NXT now-ish. Like, the NXT women's division is probably the only thing I enjoy.
Yeah, right
Besides
now.
them firing Mandy Rose, which is BS.
Wow.
Well,
You didn't know that?
No. I didn't.
well, okay.
Yeah, they fired Mandy.
They fired Mandy because she does her
Yeah.
fan time or her OnlyFans thing. Full respect to Mandy Rose. Make your money wherever it is, and that's the way it is.
She said that's not the reason why she fired, though, because she had an interview on some news television or something a week ago or something. I didn't watch it, but
That was probably part of the reason, though, because they're a PG company and they don't want something like that.
you got Bruce Pritchard.
God, who the hell cares?
Rip, yo, Brian. No one cares, bro.
For the second time.
For the second time in this podcast, no one cares. I want to pay my respects to Jay Briscoe. About a few days,
Them boys.
them boys.
Them boys.
A few days ago, Jay Briscoe passed away in a car accident at age 38,
38, yeah.
and his daughters sending the prayers to them. They're still in the hospital and recovering from the accident. Jay Briscoe was the only one that didn't survive the accident, which I was pretty shocked when I heard that because I'm like an old school Ring of Honor fan. I don't watch it anymore, but back in the old Ring of Honor days, I was a really big fan of one of the tag teams I really enjoyed was Briscoes. Like every time they fought the Young Bucks, that they killed it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad to think about because they've never made it to WWE, but they never wanted to go to WWE, which I fully respect because not a lot of people.
would
I mean,
turn down that offer.
yeah, like that took guts.
Took a
To
lot.
turn
Well, I
down
know-
WWE.
I know Rosemary did that a couple times too.
Yeah.
And and people like to make fun of these smaller companies like Impact and say Impact's dead or Ring of Honor's dead or this or this or this. But honestly, like when there are more stuff to watch as wrestling fans, we all win. So
Yeah, like recently,
it shouldn't just be AEW versus WWE or AEW or WWE or this company versus this company. It should just be, we all love wrestling, watch what you like, and stop bitching on Twitter when things don't go your way.
my
either.
lord.
Yeah.
So, just have fun and
Enjoy the community. We live once.
heart goes out to the Briscoe family and all the fans, myself included. I've been following the Briscoes pretty much ever since they existed, with GCW and ROH.
Do you have like a certain Briscoe match you really enjoyed, or a moment?
I can't remember. There was one with Matt Hardy that I really enjoyed.
Like I said earlier, they fought the Young Bucks a lot, but every time this is back when I actually enjoyed the Young Bucks. Now not so much. No offense, I think Young Bucks are overrated. Omega, he's great. And but yeah, before we change topic, is sad, but I really appreciate Tony Khan. This is why I respect Tony Khan, because he did the same thing with Brody Lee. He did a whole tribute dedicated to Jay Briscoe at Ring of Honor, like they did for Brody at AEW, and I think that's cool. And the response from the wrestling community, including guys like Triple H, who he never worked with them, but he paid respect.
Well, that's how you know that somebody has left a mark. When you have
Yeah.
companies that, when you got people like, think about people like The Rock, people like Stone Cold. Those guys are legendary. So when those guys go, that's gonna be something too.
I don't think
But
about that.
when Jay Briscoe and the Briscoes biggest, they were one of the biggest like wrestling tag teams. Like if you were a wrestling fan, you knew who those guys were. Like you didn't even have to watch ROH to know those guys. Those guys were like one of the they were like a household name basically of ROH. Those guys are good, and Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, and all those other people came from there. So
Right. We're gonna change the topic a little bit. It's not gonna be wrestling. We're gonna talk about music for a little bit because we're gonna change things up a little bit. Last year, I don't know if you guys follow me on social media, but last year I went to a lot of concerts. Some woman I went to in this room, Aaron and Ethan.
Yes.
Ethan, I want you to talk about how you had your very first heavy metal concert experience, like a very real experience with your boy. You want to talk about it for a minute?
Well, first time I've ever went to a concert was I had to leave halfway through it, and that was Kiss. So I never gotten a really
My
good experience
God.
before.
You went halfway.
You went to
I
a
was
concert
forced. I was forced
and
to leave.
left?
I was forced.
What
to
is
leave
wrong
early.
with? Wait, who'd you go with?
My mom?
Kiss?
Her ex-boyfriend?
Are you kidding me?
Jace, Liz,
I can't even
all
talk
down.
to
Was your mom with you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can't even talk to you right now.
no, wait.
I
Yes,
can't
it
even
was.
talk to you right now.
Like
You went.
I-
I'll listen to Kiss.
listen,
rock and
I-
roll all night, my guy.
They played
Hello.
that song, then I was happy I stayed for that. But we left halfway through because my mother wasn't feeling good, and I was upset.
I want to tell her
So?
to suck it up.
I was upset.
We're seeing Kiss, and this is a rare moment. Suck it up,
I
mom.
mean, my dad had to do that because we were at fucking what's it called, like State Fair or whatever, and there was like one of his favorite '80s bands playing there, and he really wanted to see him, but he ate something bad that day at the fucking fair, and
Find a bucket. Who cares?
Find a bucket and puke in it and tolerate it.
He assumed that his diabetes was low or something, and he needed to like go home and relax.
Is that your first concert?
No, that was the one time that we had to leave. It didn't even start yet, but he just wanted to go home.
So Ethan, who did I take you to go see last year?
My boy went to go take me to see my favorite band in like complete total. I Prevail, Pierce DeVille, and I don't
Fit for a
remember.
King was
Fit
also
for
there.
a King was
But
there.
you're mainly I Prevail is the reason why you went.
Fit for a King was absolutely fire.
Yeah,
They
Fit for
were-
King is good, but their merch is ass. It's horrible.
Hey
I
yo,
haven't seen
whoosh.
any good stuff of it.
Yeah.
But their songs are really good for being a first timer listening to them in concert.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea who they were when we got there.
I didn't either, but they were.
I-
they had
Well, I
good
think
songs.
that's a good thing when like you don't know every band.
Right.
Right.
So then like you're like the opening acts, you're like, oh, I like these guys.
Right.
Or, like,
That's how I
Yeah.
discovered Diamante, and then
Like-
I met her backstage. She signed my tit.
When I went to Trinity of Terror Part 1, Lilith Czar was opening. I actually really like her voice and everything. She has good vocal range and shit, so I really like her music now. But I didn't
Trinity
know.
Terror was so much fun.
It was fun. It was really
Part
fun.
1 and Part 3. I didn't go to Part 2 because.
I didn't get a Part 2. I had a ticket, I had a VIP ticket, but I didn't get to go.
Ha, that's what we get.
that would have sucked.
Yeah. I think I cried when I got home after work.
So Ethan, how was your how'd you feel when I Prevail came out and your experience? Talk about that for a minute without getting interrupted.
Jizz.
What she said, if anyone heard that. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Flat out.
Creamed in your pants.
When I Prevail came down, I creamed in my pants.
Oh my god.
Horrible. Like, I just unloaded.
I've seen them 4 times live, and I have to say that, like, each and every time I've enjoyed their set, like, completely.
They
very
have
good live.
phenomenal songs.
The only
Absolutely.
thing that sucked, they didn't play Every Time You Leave.
That is my favorite song
Uh-oh.
because it is.
But they did Gasoline at the end because they waited. They
no,
left
they
the stage.
teased it. They left
And they're
the
like,
stage,
one
went
more
back,
song.
We
one
all
more.
started
And then they started
chanting.
playing Gasoline, and I dragged you in the pit. We started jumping.
But I looked. No. First we looked at each other. And we
I was
were
just like,
jaws dropped, looking at them,
And then
heads already banging, running through people to get to the pit.
I clicked the,
You
clicked
did
the
it.
wrong thing.
but yeah, I went to a lot of concerts last year. I got to see the following: Falling Reverse, Papa Roach, Hollywood Undead, Bad Wolves, Wiz Khalifa, Logic,
saw
24
Wiz
K
Khalifa?
Golden. It was really fun.
Huh.
It was a lot of
I
fun.
didn't expect that from you.
I was invited.
Oh.
Fantastic.
So I would get drunk. He did a tribute to like all the dead rappers, including X and Juice, and I thought that was really cool.
Oh, that's cute.
Who else? I saw Motionless twice, which that's my favorite band. So that was probably my favorite memory of last year. You didn't see Motionless. The second time was fun, but when I went to go see him the first time, finally seeing Motionless in White, 5-year-old me came out.
Now let me ask you a question, this guy. Have you ever crowd surfed before?
No, but
No.
I plan on doing it in 2 weeks because in 2 weeks I'm taking you and possibly Erin if she decides to go.
I've decided to go, but it's my
You
my place
leave
of work.
you leave work when the concert starts.
I can't do that because like no one's gonna like.
What are you gonna? We'll talk about it later. We gotta figure it out because you're going. 'Cause I
Don't
already,
have to figure it out because you're going.
yeah, because I bought your ticket already.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then next month in March, you and me are going to see Skillet and Theory of a Dead Man.
Well, my
And-
mom
and your mom too, of course.
and I'm meeting Skillet.
And he's meeting skills.
I am pumped as fuck for that.
I kind of wanted
I'm
to go
so
to that
jealous.
one, but being around a bunch of like 30-year-old.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
hey,
it's not
hey.
my type of crowd.
Skillet is fire. I don't
Skillet
care.
is fire. I do.
Their
agree
old
with that.
stuff. I am so excited. I've never seen Skillet before.
Absolutely.
So
I've
I'm
never
really-
seen Skillet before either, but
I'm not too familiar with their fan base, so I don't.
But
really
I
kinda...
lo- but I love all of them. You know, they're a great group of people, and I'm excited
You
to.
said Theory of a Dead Man is going to that one or two.
Yeah, I met them like 5 times.
Holy shit.
Like,
Um,
yeah, and all those guys are cool. Saint and Sonia is gonna be there too, which is awesome. So I'm excited to see Adam Gontier too. Which is cool.
probably my favorite. I've been going to concerts since 2018 because my first one ever was Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie,
I was at that one too.
and I got to meet Rob.
Fuck you for that.
Wow, you heard it first. But my favorite concert by far was probably the latest one I went to. Was at towards the end of the year, Trinity of Terror Part 3, because I was very close to the stage. Spencer from Ice Nine Kills started crowd surfing. He stayed on the side of the crowd, and I got a perfect camera shot of him standing on top, right in front of me. It was the greatest thing of all time. It was my first time, like, really into the pit.
My ex-girlfriend touched his foot.
There you go.
Your ex was there?
Yep.
Ooh.
Daddy's money.
Dang.
All right, now that we're talking about like our favorite concerts, you said yours, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, we'll pretty much go around saying our favorites.
My favorite show was Harvest Fest in 2017. It was like a one-off thing. They never did it again, which I was pissed because it was it's like one of those festivals that's like tiny. It's got like 4 or 5 bands, and me and my buddy we were in college together, and my buddy Sam, one of his favorite bands was going to be there, and so I was like, okay, let's go. You drive, we'll go. We drove 2 hours to this place.
Where was it?
It was Riverworks.
Oh, hey.
We drove to the Riverworks, and I love that area because it's open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's perfectly
It was a
open.
good event. I hate Buffalo people though.
Like me, I don't mind Buffalo people because those are my people. So I don't mind Buffalo people. But the craziest thing is, it was probably the coolest experience I've ever had because I had a better seat than the VIP people.
Oh, must be nice.
And like I made friends with all the security guards. But
Hell yeah.
I think the coolest thing was I was wearing one of my favorite bands, Paris. They're my favorite band of like all time. They were there, and it was my first show, and I kid you not, I walk in there, this guy hands me a piece of paper, and I was like, what the hell is this for? And he's like, oh, you get to meet the bands afterwards. They'll go, and I'm like, you're shitting me, right? Like, I'm not dressed for this. Hello? Like, you know,
You weren't ready.
I wasn't ready for this. And I ended up buying one of Paris's shirts when I was there. I had one on, so I wore 2.
Right.
And then, because I'm that guy that'll do that. And
I've done it a few times.
and it was 103.3 The Edge that was running it, a local radio station out here. And so, what the craziest thing is, I met this lady in line, and I swear she got wasted out of her mind. And she was like 40, probably 40s, 50s. And I wouldn't have cared so much if, like, because I think I was 18 at the time, I think. And I wouldn't have cared so much if it was some college kid. Because I'm like, I like drinking too.
Right.
So I don't care. But, you know, when you're 40 freaking years old
It's
trying...
always the older people at concerts that get
Yeah. When you're like 40 freaking years old trying to, like, you know, live your younger days.
Hello.
Honey,
I
you're
remember
not...
some old
kids.
drunk dude trying to fight
Honey,
me.
you're not
at the
drunk.
rail.
You're not like 20 anymore.
Right.
And you know, I started to feel uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable in the most uncomfortable situation. So my friend was way behind me because he didn't want to deal with drunk people. He's like, I can't be around drunk people, bro. I can't do it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, fine. And so I'm standing, and you know, you picture me being physically handicapped. A concert is the worst place you can be.
Right.
But you went anyway.
And yeah. Well, fuck yeah, I went.
He said, "Fuck it, you live once.
Fuck
I'm going."
yeah,
Like, hell yeah. And I ended up going, and I stood for 2 hours. And for the record, my legs get tired after like 5 to 10 minutes of standing. So my legs are fucking killing me, and I go and I turn around, and my wheelchair is gone. It's gone. It's like just completely gone.
Did some drunk lady take it?
Yeah.
Wow.
The same lady that I met in line, she took it. And I knew it was her because she has to sit in it.
How drunk do you have to be?
Oh my God.
Can we just talk about?
This lady was plastered. I'm not talking about like, yeah, I'm having fun, woo! Like I'm talking about
A
gone.
certain
Gone.
somebody level?
Gone.
Yeah.
Do not
Gone.
say name, but certain somebody level.
The name we shall not
Like,
speak of.
she was gone to the point where she couldn't stand up. So obviously she
Please
had
stand up.
way too
Please stand up.
way too much.
Right.
And, you know, I'm just like, great, this is fun.
I'm fucked.
And I'm up there, and the lead singer, Lynn, she's messing around with her microphone or whatever, Bluetooth thing, getting sound check done before the song happens. She comes over to me, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm just like, I'm just sitting there like, is she talking to me? Like,
Girl,
who
look
else
around.
is
This
she
guy's
talking
so
to?
behind me.
Hang on.
Who else is she talking to? So I'm like, don't do anything. For the love of God, please don't do anything. Because I don't like other people dealing with my shit. That's just how I am. That's how I've always been. If you watched my streams before, I've talked about this kind of shit. I don't like people dealing with my problem. And that's my thing. I don't like making a scene. I don't like doing that because then it's in front of all these people.
Right.
You don't want to cause a scene in front of people.
Yeah.
I get it.
And so like, I'm like, great, this is fun. She's like, hang on a minute. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to do something, isn't she? Because she always does. She's notorious for that. She's kicked people out.
I love her.
She's yelled at guys that have said very provocative
So
things to her.
where's she do?
She got up on the mic and she was like, hey, security, somebody get his chair back. And whoever took that from him, you can get the fuck out of here. That's not what we do. He's been singing, partying, and dancing and whatever all day long, and he does not deserve that. And I'm thinking in my head, oh my God.
That was hot.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like thinking in my head, like, what the fuck just happened?
They're like, wait, what's going on
because
with my pants?
that shit does not happen.
No,
Like,
it never does.
no.
Dude, I would faint. I'm like, oh.
It does not happen. And then she came over to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like,
I'm seeing
"Yeah,
stars.
I'm good.
Are you real? Am I
Are
dreaming?
you good?" Like,
Pinch me.
and she's like, and then she introduced herself. She's like, "I'm Lynn, by the way." I'm like, "I know, sweetheart. I know who you
I was like,
are.
oh, I know.
I know who you are."
Don't
And then we ended up meeting afterwards, and I'm the type of person that can read people pretty well, so I could tell that she was going through something. So I had my buddy Sam and I were like, I'm like, all right, I'll bet you $10 I can make her laugh. And he's like, dude, she's gay. I'm like, so what? I don't care. Like, I can still make somebody laugh regardless. Like, I'm gonna make her remember who I am. Like, that's it. And like, so I told my buddy to get me a piece of paper, and I wrote down my Twitter handle, and I gave it to her. And she was like, "What the hell is this for?" And I said, "Well, because she was like, "What the hell is this for? Why are you giving me your Twitter handle?" And so I was like, "Well, you don't need to follow me. You don't need to do anything with it. You can just throw it away if you want to. But, if you ever need somebody to talk to, about mental health and about any of that shit, you can come talk to me. Because I've been there. The day that I discovered them was like one of the worst days of my life. So they got me through a lot of, mental health struggles and stuff like that. So, it got to the point where her and I have met probably 3 to 4 times now. We met 2 years ago.
that was probably your favorite moment from a concert, right?
Oh, fuck yeah, man. But I think my favorite, like, as far as, like, concert goes, is not only that one, but the one in 2020 when it was the live stream concert. And that was because I was only supposed to spend probably 3 to 4 minutes with her on the video chat thing.
Oh, yeah, you video chat with her, too.
But I twice, actually. But I spent about 10 to 15 minutes because she was like, I was her first one. She lives in California now, so,
Can you imagine video chatting with, like, Chris Motionless?
And like...
I'm like,
and it was funny.
I would
It was funny. It was funny because I blamed her. I blamed her for me being late to class because I watched a music video the same day I had to go to class for college and I was late. and I said, I blame you for that shit. I was late to class, and she's like, do you like it because of the song or do you like it because of me? And you can't say both because it's not. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I can't tell a lie. So you know what? Like, I'm sorry, I can't tell a lie. But it's crazy because
does she plan on coming out this year, or you don't know?
She's in the UK right now. She's supposed to be in a festival, Sad Summer Fest. It's almost like, it's not like Warped Tour, but it's like 4 or 5 different bands. It's like a little festival there. And they were in Houston last year. They're not in Houston this year. And I'm supposed to move to Texas. So that's not fucking cool. We have a problem here. But like, it was cool because I got to, and it's funny because I got to send I sent a. I was talking with her, and she was like, "Oh, I want to meet your mom." And she's
Brian's mom.
like,
Gotta go.
and she was like, I want to meet your mom because her and I would talk about each other's families and stuff, and that was like one of the coolest experiences ever. Like being able to like
Meet your idol.
not only that, but being able to like, because she was the first person I shared my abusive relationship story to, and then she told me hers and all that stuff, and it turns out she has medical problems too, like Crohn's disease and other shit too.
So it was like a stepbrother moment. Did we just become best friends? Yep.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
It was really cool, and there was one time where I was like, you're gonna give me a heart attack one of these days. One of these days you're gonna post something that's gonna kill me. And like
a very teasing picture.
and I mean she did Playboy. So.
Oh,
No.
Oh yeah.
I know what Aaron's looking up
Instead
later.
of that, instead of this, it's this right here.
Oh my!
No, it's crazy because one of the pictures is her standing in front of a mirror and she's just smiling. And the craziest thing is, a couple of years ago before that shoot when I first met her, she asked me, she was like, "Who's gorgeous?" And I said, "Why don't you take a look in the mirror and see for yourself?" And now there's a photo of her looking in the mirror. So, coincidence? I think not.
I think not!
But,
All right.
that's my favorite experience, though.
Aaron, favorite concert.
Favorite concert? Actually, this one is a shocker, probably. So I went to go see Miss May I and a bunch of other bands, Landmarks, in Horseheads, New York. It was at the venue, the L. I highly recommend that venue because the staff and everything, because usually my biggest pet peeve is when the staff is just assholes to, like, the people that paid to be there.
Or just don't care.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
the
All of the
security
Trinity
at,
of Terrors. The staff were so bad at all the places I went
Especially
to.
at Buffalo River Works.
Oh my fucking god. But the L in Horseheads, the staff was like jamming along to all the songs too. Like they were really into it, and it was just so nice to see. And not to mention, my friend's band opened for that concert, and they
That's lit.
I know, they hyped the crowd up so much. Like the lead singer hopped in the pit and started moshing with them and everything. It was so nice. It was like the fucking best concert ever. And I met two of the guitar dudes from
Guitar dudes.
guitar dudes from Landmarks, and oh my fucking, I didn't realize they were from like France until now. I mean, at that concert,
Right.
but because they were doing the mic check in like French, and I was like, "What the fuck? Are they not from here?" And they were,
Aaron's like,
and it was so cool.
Yeah,
And now
was
I
on form.
and I can't unhear their little accents in their songs now. It's so cool.
It's one of those things that's just engraved in your brain now. It just
Yeah.
replays in just a certain moment.
But yeah, it was such a nice concert, and it was great. I loved it so much. But
All right,
and
Greg.
Warped Tour was really good too.
Ooh, yeah.
I missed that, man.
Other than
I've never
not
been to a
drinking
Warped
for
Tour.
like 8 hours a day, that was
I've never been to a Warped Tour.
yeah.
Were you the one in 2015?
No, I wasn't there in 2015. I was
man.
there in 2016 and 2017.
He said, "Oh man."
Because
oh,
two of my favorite bands were there. Paris was there, and Against the Current was there.
I wanted to go in
Ooh,
2013 and
that's the current.
2015 because I think those are like the two best years. And 2007, obviously.
I'm making it a mission. I'm seeing Against the Current in Houston. It's gotta
Yes.
happen.
All right, Bragg, your favorite concert or moment for a
I
concert?
already said I prevailed.
Why?
So the favorite moment in there was
Here we go.
they played my second favorite song by them. And it was their last song that they played, even after they played Gasoline. And it was Come and Get It. I broke down. My man saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't cry real tears though. I held it back.
5-year-old him
I
came
held
out.
it back, but I was about to.
You went full fangirl mode. And we
If-
were in the middle of the pit and you were just living life.
I
was
would've too.
jumping. I was screaming. Oh, oh, yeah. I was a kid in a candy store.
Oh my.
Oh, and then
Take
this
the
man.
candy shop.
Oh, and then this man, right? Every time. Because I'm doing this after the fucking band. Woo! I'm screaming. He's like, oh, that's my ear. The last time he did
You're
that.
standing right
I
next
was,
to
okay,
me.
no, the last time I did that, I was like this feet away from you, from how me and Aaron
They
are.
can't see.
Okay, so I was like a good 4 inches away from Sky
There you go.
at this point. So when I was doing it and I yelled it, he was like, "That's my ear." I said, "You are in Africa, aside from New York, right here. That is no way."
What? You're in Africa. Oh,
Overall,
Lord.
it was a phenomenal concert. Everything about it. 10-10.
Are you excited for Falling in Reverse in 2 weeks?
You're gonna make it the best. You're gonna make it the best.
If you
I
go,
wish
I
you were
want to.
going.
Why are you being mad at me? It's not my fault. It's out of my
your
hands.
job sucks. You
Bruh.
should quit and go work.
Well, I gotta say this one thing here. I think it's cool, when you go to concerts for the experiences, but like my audio teacher said this. Like, if you just went to the concert for the music, don't bother going to a concert.
Yeah.
Because it's like I can just look it up on Spotify, look it up on Apple Music,
You want the
whatever it is.
experience.
But like to know that you get even if you get the meet and greets and you meet the bands and stuff, and you never think that they'll remember who you are when you meet them again. But
Yeah, like
you know,
I go to a bunch of wrestling events like you do,
yeah,
and that's why I never really went to concerts until I got older. Because when I was a kid, that's all I went to: wrestling. But this might be unpopular or very popular. Concerts are more fun than wrestling events, in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, I love sitting in the front row at wrestling events, cheering, but like you don't really get the experience and interaction and move around and do crazy stuff. But at concerts, it's completely different, and it's insane. I've only had a few bad experiences at concerts where obviously it was drunk people trying to fight me.
Oh my god. Literally
And
at the
I'm
last
like,
Trinity of
that-
Terror, there was like a 50-year-old drunk dude standing next to me staring at my tits. It was so fucking
Oh
uncomfortable.
my god.
That's great.
that's nice.
That's
Kick him in
nice.
the nuts.
No, I wish I did though.
Damn it.
I told her to do it. She was like, "Push this out." Okay, is there anything else we should mention before we? How long have we been on here for now?
An hour and 5.
Damn,
Good hour and 5.
we got a few minutes left. Well, all right. Let's see. We talked about the Rumble. We talked about Jay Briscoe. We talked about music. Upcoming concerts. I know in April, taking a certain somebody to Jeff Dunham. I got to see him last year with you in
Was he
Buffalo.
good?
Yeah.
Oh,
my god. If you only seen him on TV,
Wait,
you're in for a hell of an
gonna have
experience.
such it's so much fun. The only comedians I've ever seen in person was Gabriel Iglesias and with Jeff Dunham. Both times with this dude, Brian.
and I saw Brad Williams, which was
I don't
cool.
like you. I want to see the midget
Oh.
comedian.
Oh my god.
Bro,
He
like
is
the song.
funny. He is funny as hell.
He's awesome.
And the her fucker.
all he does is make fun of his disability and stuff, and just talks about stereotypes with people with dwarfism.
And his wife.
and his wife, who I think he says is the hot Asian Ronda Rousey. I think is what.
Yeah,
he
the
puts.
hot Asian Ronda Rousey.
And it is crazy. If you haven't heard him, definitely look him up on YouTube because it's hilarious.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's funny. You'll find his shit very funny.
You might have more to relate to this. I don't know these two because they've never seen it. But I'm gonna get heat. I just finally started watching New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Yeah.
which is basically the Japan version of WWE, I guess you can say.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Because
they're
they've been
more,
around for a very long time, but
but
I've
they're
heard
more of the wrestling and less of the entertainment aspect of it.
oh yeah, of course. Like, because I've heard about it. I've known AJ was there, Nakamura, but I never like sat down and watched show start to finish. But I watched this year's Wrestle Kingdom. Holy crap! It is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They are like my favorite match was it's gonna be a big obvious one. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship.
Yep.
That is probably one of the most hard hitting matches I've seen in quite some time. Because dude, they look like it looked like freaking Ospreay owed Omega money.
Yeah.
Cause
It was a fantastic match. Definitely, if you only watch WWE and that's what you like, great.
so what?
If you only watch AEW and that's what you like, great too. But I suggest giving other wrestling companies a chance because you can see the different styles. Obviously, AEW in the way that they do their shows different than WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Impact too. Like even if even if some people like to write Impact off, they put on some banger shows, especially
Like,
with
I
their
just
women,
watched
so.
the recent pay-per-view Hard to Kill. That show was the main event, Josh Alexander versus Bully Ray.
Well,
Bully
that-
could still go.
That was the opening contest, but the main event was Jordan Grayson.
Got these two kids on their phone who have no idea what the heck
And,
we're talking about.
I know.
Y'all
and,
seriously need to watch
Mickie
Japan
James.
wrestling. I think Aaron would like it
I think I would too.
more than Barry.
I saw Jordan Grace the other night lift up Bully Ray.
Dude,
like-
and that match she had with Mickie James too. That was pretty good.
that was pretty
And then-
good.
When you and me and my ex went to go see Impact live for the first time, that was a really fun wrestling show.
I loved meeting Chelsea Green and Deanna.
I don't like you
They
because
are.
I couldn't afford it.
They were great. I wish nothing but the best for Deanna and Steve after just getting married. So congrats to those
And
two.
Chelsea, I believe she's leaving Impact. She's going back
Yeah.
to WWE,
as
which
far as I know, but
I'm kind of iffy about.
the hot mess is coming back. But
And I think Matt Cardona or Zack Ryder is coming back to WWE,
yeah, as far as I know,
which I personally don't think he should.
I think he's doing
think
a pretty good job doing what he's doing now.
Yeah, I think he's done. I think I don't know. I don't know. I like Matt Cardona. I just don't like him and Zack Ryder. I don't want to see Zack Ryder. Woo woo woo. Matt Cardona is great, especially his stuff in GCW, which
Yeah.
don't watch GCW. I don't watch GCW a lot, but I'll watch it every now and then. If like Moxley's wrestling or Leo Rush or Matt Cardona, I don't get the hype behind Nick Gage.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
I don't know. He alright. I don't really like
All
extreme death matching.
Motherfucking day.
Like there are some death matches I like to watch, but I'm not like super into it.
I love that shit. I love people beating the shit out of each other. Like that's just me. I love that shit. I love anybody that can like get a crowd going, and I definitely death matches is something that it definitely has its crowd for it. For
right.
sure. Some people don't like it, but I can understand why. It's the brutality, and people think you're some sick fuck because you like seeing people like to.
It's not my problem. Sometimes there's I don't want to see it every match. Every match, blood, glass. Like, it's cool. Like when AEW when they do it every once in a while. Like that,
Yeah.
like that women's tag death match they had with Tay Conti and Ann Jay versus Willow and Ruby.
Yeah.
That match was awesome.
Yeah,
And Tay
Ruby
Conti
was
is
bleeding
just-
like a stuffed pig. It was great.
Hell yeah, she was bleeding. She was Dustin Rose that shit. My lord. She cut herself way too deep. Like, oh my god.
That was good, yeah.
I don't know, when you're going through like WWE or like wrestling in general and all that, fake or not fake, they can get brutal. They
Yeah.
can get real brutal.
When did you start watching wrestling? Not too long ago. Like, what, 2 years? Towards the end of 2020, you started watching.
TLC was the first match I watched. before
Oh
the Rumble.
yeah,
Before
we
the
went to
Rumble.
your house and the Wi-Fi went out, and we missed the ending of Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, where Randy set the Fiend on fire because your shitty ass Wi-Fi.
You
Well,
gotta
like,
come to my house, bud, for
wanna
stuff.
Let you know that internet was not only my house; it was my entire trailer park. Second of all, yes, sir.
You did it. I know Aaron's been watching it every now and then, but I know you like The Fiend is probably your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So remember when we watched Fiend? She watched. I think the first show you ever watched was when I invited you over for Mania.
Yeah.
And
This
then,
woman was absolutely hypnotized by
as
him.
soon as Bray Wyatt came out, she's like,
Like,
through her phone, and that's rare for her to do.
and we're like saying her name, Aaron.
Like
Aaron.
Yep.
Aaron.
Calling her.
and she's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "That's the Fiend." She's
I
like,
saw him live,
Snaps out
too.
of it.
And
I
she's
got
like,
pictures of him.
she's like, "He's hot."
Finally snaps out.
And
of it
then
after,
when
like, 10
he
minutes
lost,
of staring.
you were pissed.
I was so mad.
And Alexa's, I mean, that was cool, but like
that was lit.
the
It was.
heel turn on, but like Bray didn't have to lose.
No.
he didn't.
But remember my favorite moment from that year's WrestleMania, my man Tony. Hey, Brian, you ready for WrestleMania? No.
No, Stout doesn't care about this black person. Let Hulk Hogan talk.
Shout out to Tony. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been on here for quite some
That's
time.
what she said.
Why? We were doing so well.
Hey, we're still good.
Thank you guys for listening to the Scott Richards podcast. I'm glad to doing this again, of course, with the homies Aaron, Ethan, Brian. You three have about 10 seconds each to shout out any social media or anything you guys want to shout out right now. Brian.
Watch TV on everything.
My Instagram is whorror_xx.
MXR Cruncher 11 all space, no lowercase.
You guys send me your guys' links. I'll
everything.
put it in the bio.
All right.
And you also have a Twitch, don't you?
Yes, I do have a Twitch. It's under MXR Cruncher 11 under the same thing. Everything's under that.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Scott Richards Podcast, and there will be a new CSW episode uploaded either tomorrow or Tuesday, and Tuesday is my birthday. My birthday's in 2 days from now, turning 21. I'm hyped for that. Let me guys know what you guys think about the Royal Rumble or anything we discuss on the Scott Richards Podcast, and don't forget to super kick the like button, super kick the share button. Always leave a positive comment down below, and if you are new to the Scott Richards Show, do me a favor and super kick the subscribe button. This has been another episode of the Scott Richards Podcast. Take care.
And I got this soda, Remy boys